Hey, what's up? This is Nathan from Gotcha SEO Academy, and in this lesson, I'm going to help you establish your goals for client SEO. So now that you understand what client SEO actually is and how it can help you grow your income online, and you also understand how to have the right mindset going into it, now what you want to do is figure out what your goals are going to be for client SEO. So the first thing you have to figure out, and you may already have this figured out, but for a lot of people who are just getting started, you need to figure out whether you want to do client SEO full-time or on the side. There may be some people who want to quit their day job and go full-time into client SEO. And there are pros and cons of doing that. And then there are also people who maybe want to keep their day job, but also get some clients on the side. So if you choose to go full-time into client SEO, or that's your ultimate goal, then you need to be prepared for a lot of ups and downs because your income is going to be completely dependent on your ability to generate new business. This is different from having a day job because when you have a day job, you have income coming in, and then any clients that you acquire while you have your day job is just additional monthly recurring revenue. With that said, I'm going to assume that you want to go full-time into client SEO. So if that's the case, the next thing you're going to have to figure out is whether you want to be a solopreneur or you want to actually build an agency. So basically, if you're a solopreneur and that's what you want to do, it means that you are the only employee of your company. That also means that you're responsible for everything that goes on in your company. So if you're starting out, usually this is the way it's going to be, and there's nothing wrong with this. But I highly recommend if you do go the solopreneur route that you start out this way, but eventually you start to branch out and hire help either in the form of contractors or in the form of employees, because it's just going to get too difficult for you to scale and be able to generate more revenue if you're trying to do everything yourself. So I'm going to be covering a lot of this element of business later on in the course, but for now, just understand in the beginning, it's totally fine to do everything yourself. And in fact, it's necessary in many cases because you simply do not have the capital to do otherwise. Now, the big distinction that you're going to want to have to figure out is if you want to just stick to being the sole employee of your business. Because if you decide to do that, you're going to have a little bit more freedom to do what you want. But if you decide to go the agency route, your freedom kind of diminishes because then you have employees that you're responsible for, and there's a lot more responsibilities that come with that. So that's something that you need to consider. But to be totally honest, you don't need to have a solid goal on this right now if you're just getting started. You can really adapt as you go along. So maybe right now you want to be the only person in your business, but maybe in 2-3 years from now, you may decide, you know what, I want to grow an agency. I want to get really serious about this. So that's really for you to decide later on, but you can always adapt. So don't feel like you're committed to whatever you decide now. So the third goal that you need to figure out is how much money do you want to make per month, which is your monthly recurring revenue. This has always been my personal preference because I feel that you can really track your progress on a monthly basis when it comes to revenue. So when I first started out, I wanted to get to $3,000 per month. That was like my goal. I believed that if I got to $3,000 per month, I'd be able to live at least decently and be able to pay my bills and anything like that. Once I hit that goal, obviously, I moved that goal to a higher milestone. And so for me personally, it's always been better to measure my progress based on how much I'm making per month as opposed to making per year. And it all ends up working out the same per year if you focus on what you're making per month. If you think about it this way, let's say you want to make 6 figures a year. Well, you have to make $8,333 per month to make 6 figures a year. And if you want to make $1 million a year, you have to get to $83,333 per month. And the nice thing about having monthly revenue goals is that those numbers are actually a lot smaller, because if your goal is, I want to make $1 million per year, that's a pretty scary goal to have. And instead saying, well, I want to make $83,000 a month, you can look at it as, well, I need to get 8 $10,000 clients to reach that goal. Or you can do all the different types of formulas to reach that amount. But it's a lot easier to see that number as opposed to seeing a huge 7-figure number that can be scary when you're first starting out. So now that you've kind of figured out how much money you want to make per month, you need to write out your goals. You may have seen me talk about this before, but you should always use the SMART formula when you are creating your goals. And the SMART formula is pretty simple. It just means that your goal is specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it's timely. So an example goal for starting out in client SEO would be, I will easily make $3,000 per month by December 31st, 2017. So as you can see from that goal, I outlined a specific amount of money that I want to make. And then I also chose a date, which is a deadline for that goal that I want to achieve it. And most importantly, I picked a goal that I believed was realistic. So when you're starting out, you don't want to set a goal that's ridiculous because you're just going to end up getting demoralized when you don't reach that goal. So you should set goals that challenge you, but also are not totally unrealistic, that they just end up demoralizing you and making you want to quit. So you just really need to avoid that. But don't be afraid to create goals that make you a little bit nervous as well. But I see this mistake made so often, even when it comes to creating just SEO goals. I'll see someone who has never driven traffic to a website, has never ranked for a single keyword in SEO, and they ask me how they can get 100,000 visitors per month, but they've never gotten 10 visitors per month. So you don't want to do that. You need to first set your bar lower when you haven't even reached that bar yet. Just be intelligent with what you're doing. Don't be unrealistic. And do your best to create goals that do challenge you a little bit, but most importantly, are realistic. So that's all there is to setting goals. It's not complicated. How much money you want to make per month and when do you want to do it? And is it a realistic goal? And then ultimately, kind of looking into the future, where you want to be. Do you want to be a solopreneur? Do you want to have an agency with a bunch of employees and a physical location and all that good stuff that comes with a big agency? So that's for you to figure out. But the next thing that I want to cover real quickly are just your expectations about client SEO, because this is the last video before I get into the real specific meat and potatoes about how to get more clients and how to grow your client SEO company. So what you need to really know and what to expect are your expectations about engaging in this type of business. So first of all, the number one factor that's going to determine how well you do in client SEO is you taking action. It doesn't matter if I give you every single step that you need to take. If it's all in your head, it doesn't do anything. What you have to do is you have to take what I give you and you have to take action on it, because otherwise it's useless. Because honestly, you can get information from anywhere, but if you're not taking action on it, then that information is really useless. And so I've structured this course to be very actionable. So you can literally take what I show you and you can put it into action and you should see results very quickly. But I personally cannot take action for you. You have to take action. And that's what's going to help you learn the most. So I can give you that base knowledge. I can give you that guidance. But ultimately, your success is going to be completely predicated on the decisions that you make and the actions that you take. So this goes back to the previous video that you need to take accountability for your client SEO business and your success in business, because ultimately it is up to you to determine where you're going to go. And sure, there are some things outside of your control, but those things really don't matter. All that matters is what you do and what you have control over. And the biggest thing that you have control over in your life and in your client SEO business is your ability to take action on the information that you're given. That is my number one tip for this video and for this course is please don't just rush through this course and try to just cram your mind with a bunch of information, because it's not really going to help you. What you need to do is go over the lesson, review it, study it, and then take action on that lesson before moving on. Maybe you're already a little bit further ahead. That's totally fine, but the rule still applies. Go through the course material, really understand it, and then take action on it before moving on. That's my big tip. Once again, I am super excited for you to jump into the meat and potatoes of this course, and I'm so happy that you're going to get this opportunity to get into client SEO, because I can't tell you, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't get into client SEO. So with that said, you have a tremendous opportunity in front of you, and all that you have to do is just follow my steps, follow what I've learned from experience, and then just take action and go your own path and figure it out in your own unique experience. That's all for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.